two routers connected with a serial link into two layer 3 switches, and then we have an IPv4 and IPv6 topology. And I've got myself set up in NetLab here, got my R1 and my R3, and we've got a couple of ISR 4221s and some layer 3 switches as well. So let's get started with the configuration. Let me just reappear. Alright, okay. So obviously, you know, cabling and stuff, we don't have to cable the network because we are using the NetLab to do this. So let's just start with the configuration. We'll just go, could copy and paste, but let's just go for host name would be R1, line con, exec timeout 00, logging synchronous, and then we want a banner. What is it? For some reason when I press pound sign on my keyboard it gives me that. This is R1, comma, Inter-VLAN routing, Inter-VLAN routing lab. And I believe we have a space at the start there. Okay. And then we need to apply a similar config to R3, so let's head over there and let's just enable this, and let's do hostname R3, line con 0, and I'm guessing we have a I actually missed out a step, haven't I? I missed out. Okay. Exec timeout 00, logging synchronous, and a little bit of the old banner MOTD. Let's kick myself one too many there. This is, I'm going to guess it's going to say R3, the comma, Inter-VLAN routing lab, and Inter has a capital I. Oh, of course, we need banner MOTD there, don't we? Otherwise that's not going to work. This is R3 Inter-VLAN. Okay. And the other thing we need to apply was no IP domain lookup. Oh, separate words. No IP domain lookup, and we need to apply that. Let's just do righty on there, and let's just apply no IP domain lookup over here, and do righty, and let's get on to the configuration of D1. Let me zoom this in a wee bit so it's easier for me to read. Okay, D1. So, same thing on D1. Let's enable conf t, no IP domain lookup, and also hostname. And we're going to do D1, and then line con 0, exec timeout, and we want 00. Don't forget about logging synchronous, exit, and then let's just do the banner, message of the day. I guess it's going to say this is D1. Yes, this is D1, comma, Inter-VLAN routing lab space. Maybe we can copy that to the text editor. Wouldn't that be fun? Just try and copy that to the browser and see what happens. Maybe I can paste it into D2. Right, and then let's just do an exit and a do righty on there as well. Oh, just a righty. And D2 now. No IP domain lookup. And we have a host name, and that'll be D2 line on 0 exec timeout 00 logging synchronous and exit. And let's see if we can paste this banner MOTD in. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, brilliant. Right, okay. So let's put this as D2 there. Of course, I need to put banner MOTD before it, obviously. Right. MOTD. And then this weird thing that happens, because I've got the UK keyboard, puts a little B there. Something to do with it doesn't like British keyboards, hates them. Okay, this is D2. Excellent. Let's do right there. Okay, set the clock on each device to UTC time. Set the clock. Save the running config. Oh, okay. Right. Not done a clock set in a long time. I think the last time I did it was on like, I don't know. It's like 8 versions ago. So I believe it's clock set. Unrecognized command, right? Clock question mark. Time zone question mark. Word. We'll just go for UTC, will we? See what happens. Incomplete command. Hours offset from UTC 0. Ha, nice. Okay. So we have to do that on them all apparently. Copy. And let's do okay, so let's, and then we've got to save running config, startup config. So do righty there, and then over here let's do conf t, and let's do paste from the browser. Okay, and let's do here, and let's do here, paste in, let's do, okay, right, configure and verify Inter-VLAN routing on a layer 3 switch. So in part 2 you'll configure and verify Inter-VLAN routing on the layer 3 switch. For this part, focus on the configuration of D1 and R1. Note the default switch database manager on the Catalyst 350 supports dual stacked operations and requires no additional configuration. Woo! Okay, so let's configure D1 for Inter-VLAN routing. Okay, so D1. So let's go in here and let's do IP routing. Alright, an IPv6 Unicast routing, my favourite kind, and VLAN 50. Name. We're going to do name, yeah, name group 50. No space in there either. And then exit. And we're looking for a VLAN 60 now. VLAN 60. Name group 60. And exit. Okay, now assign the gigabit 0/23 to VLAN 50 and gigabit 01 to, okay, so this is where there might be some problems with the interfaces, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do show IP int VR and just have a look at what we've got. So the lab wants me to configure 1023 and we've got a 1023. So we're not going to have a problem with this. Okay, so interface gigabit 1/0/23. We're in and we want switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN, that would be 50. Okay, no shut down, and exit. And then we want to configure interface 24, I would guess. Yeah, interface 24 with switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 60, no shutty. Okay, so bring those interfaces up now. Okay, and then it wants me to create the SVIs, okay, that will support VLAN 50 and VLAN 60. So let's go into the actual SVI. So interface VLAN 50 now, and we want to do IP address 10.2.50.1 2, and then we want an IPv6 address, and we want something like FE80 colon 2001. Oh no, colon D1 colon 2. Right, that's nice and easy to write out, isn't it? Link local. Okay. And then we want the actual IP address. That'll be the one that I was thinking, 2001 DB8. Right, okay, just go on autopilot. 2001 DB8. Is it ACAD? Yeah, ACAD. 1050 colon D1. I do like how you can put the name of the device in the IPv6 address. That is quality. No shutty. Right, and then we're going to go and configure interface VLAN 60 now. So interface VLAN 60, and we want an IP address of 10.2.61. Let's just change that in the third octet there. And we want an IPv6 link local address of D13 there. And we want an IPv6 address. Oh, let's see. I've got it in the history here somewhere. So DBA ACAD 1060 D1. All right, no shutty and exit. We should see some interfaces coming up. We'll see some action shortly. So now, configure PC1 with the addresses specified in the addressing table. Further assign default gateways of 10.2. Further assign. What does it mean? Further assign. Like, configure them and then further assign them. This doesn't make. Okay. So it's just strange wording. Right. So we're going. Where are we heading? PC1, and we're getting the address table. So there's the address table. There's PC1's addressing there. So let's go PC1, and let's get the. Oh look, it knows it's in a network now. Yeah. Let's do start. Let's just see if we can get into the network. Open network and internet settings. No, change it. We want network and sharing center, and we want change adapter settings, and we're going to configure network here. Properties, IPv4. Okay, use the following IP address. So PC1 should be on 10 VMware's of it. 10.2.50.50. Okay, 10.2.50.50. And then, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy that IPv6 address because I'll definitely mess it up. And I put it in. Now, is it saying that PC1, according to the diagram, the gateway of PC1 should be the 1023 interface on D1? So let's just, okay, so well, first of all, /24, right? So let's do /24. We can do that easily. And then the gateway should be the D1's primary network address. This 10.251. That's the one. 10. Oh, and this is because we're in VLAN 50. That makes sense, doesn't it? Why is it not letting me type the gateway in? 10.251. Okay, let's do IPv6 now. I've got it on the clipboard, so it should just go in. Go on. Okay, fair enough, I'll type it out. 2001 DB8 ACAD, and then it's 1050, and then it would be, so we're looking at PC1 1050::50/64. 50/64. Okay, prefix will be 64. Oh, don't write the prefix in the address. And the gateway. Right, so the gateway is VLAN 50, is this address here. I'm just going to highlight the kind of difficult bit of it. So it'll be 2001 DB8 ACAD 1050::D1. Do we need the /64 in the gateway? I don't think we do. We might have to come back and add that. Invalid, oh no we do, right, okay, /64, try that. Invalid IP address, 2001, oh, got a dot in there. I'm going to take away that thing as well. Invalid gateway, I'll get there. Invalid gateway, oh, DB8, needs a colon there. I don't think we need the prefix on there, I really don't. Right, cool. Okay, let's go back down in the lab now and see what it says. So, configure PC1 with the address specified, further assign the default gateways of those two things. Done. Now configure PC2 with the address and further verify. Alright, okay, so let's go and configure PC2. We'll leave that on the network, and we'll leave that on change adapter settings there just in case we have to come back into it. So PC2, and we have, do you want to allow? Yes. Let's go in here. And then we want the network and sharing center. Let's do IPv4. Use the following. So this will be 10, and let's just get the IP addressing from the IP addressing table up here. So we're doing PC2 now. 10.2.60.50. 10.2.60.50, and it's a /24. 0, and the gateway will be the address in VLAN 10.2.61. So let's do 10.2.61. Okay, and then let's do the IPv6 address, where I'll probably make a load of typos. So IPv6, so let's just scan PC2, the kind of end bits, the bit that I usually mess up. So 2001 DB8 ACAD 1060 ::50, and then the prefix length is going to be 64. Seems to know that. I don't know how. Didn't know it the last time. Okay, and then it's going to be this 1060 D1. So actually, I can probably get away with just copying that, pasting it in down there, and then being like, so instead of 1060 ::50, it's 1060 ::D1. Right, let's just try that. Okay, identifying. It says it's connected to something. Right, let's go back to part 2 and see how we're getting on here. Where are we? Okay, configure PC2. From PC1, ping PC2's both IP addresses. Right, let's go back to PC1 and let's get the command prompt open. Actually, come on, what year is it? Let's power hell. Right. Ping, and it's 10.2.60.1, I think it is. Ha! Didn't expect that to work. Right, okay, good. So I think I need to go to PC2 now. And we'll get powers hell open. And let's ping 10. What are we pinging? 2.50.1. Ha, that's working. Right, okay. So according to the diagram, right, that's going up through PC1 into D1 and back out again. Cool. Okay. So now what we want to do is examine the MAC address table on D1 with show MAC address table dynamic. Okay, I should probably ping the IPv6 addresses as well, shouldn't I? Let's just do an IP config on here, and we'll grab the IPv6 address there. Oh, come on, don't tell me you can't copy. You think with them bringing out a new shell, they'd at least allow, they'd at least let you copy, right? So let's ping that, but change that to 1050. Reply. Okay, nice. Okay, let's go to D1, and the command it wants is show MAC address table dynamic. So let's go for a show MAC address. Show MAC address. Maybe we need to do this from privileged exec mode. Show MAC address table. Ooh, all sorts of fun things, right? Dynamic. Alright, and we can see that, look, total MAC addresses for this criterion 2. We can see that we have some MAC addresses there. Right, let's configure the gigabit 0111 interface as a routed port. So on D1, let's do interface, okay, G1/0/11. I mean, this is very much like what I see. Maybe this is what I'm seeing. Maybe this is meant to be right. I don't know. Let's just move on. And let's do no switch port. IP address 10.1.13.13. And then we want an IPv6 address of FE80 Z1 1 link local, and an IPv6 address of 2001 DB8 ACAD 10D1:D1/64. Incomplete command. Ah, typo in there. There we go. So let's do no shut and exit. Okay, now verify that gigabit is no longer associated with the VLAN database by doing show VLAN brief. So we'll even abbreviate it even more. We'll do sh VLAN VR, and then we'll pipe that into include G1/0/11. inactive. Group 50. So okay, so they're definitely not in. It says configure that as a rooted port. Verify it's no longer associated with a VLAN database. Well, it's in the default VLAN. There's nothing coming back, so it's not. Okay, so now we want to configure some default static routes. Okay, so IP route. And we're going to do a quad 0. And it's 10, 1, 13, 1. And then we need an IPv6 route of /0 via 2001 TB8 8CAD 10G1:1. Incomplete command. IPv6 route ::1 2001 DB8 ACAD ::1. Okay, cool. So you may see an error message about something being resolved failing to resolve. This will indicate that the switch sent an ARP and got no reply. We'll configure that next. Okay, can't wait. Right. Building configuration. So, configure R1 now. We're going to R1. So configure a rooted port. So we've got a rooted port and we've got default routes heading towards R1. Now we need to go to R1 and configure R1. So let's go to R1. And let's see what we're going to do. So configure R1 so it supports Unicast routing. So IPv6 Unicast routing. And then we want to do interface gigabit 0/0/1, and then with an IP address of 10.1.13.1, and an IPv6 address of classic FE80::1:1. This rolls off the tongue. IPv6 address, and this will be the 2001 DB8 ACAD, and we want 10D1 here, ::1/64. Okay, let's just scan that for typos. Okay, no shutty, and exits. Okay. Right, now we need to configure the serial interfaces. So we're going to do the WAN link now, the link across to R3. So let's go interface serial, okay, serial 0/1/1, 011. Okay, IP address 10.1.3.1. Okay, and then we want an IPv6 address of FE80::1:2 link local, and another IPv6 address of DB8 ACAD 1013 ::1/64. 1013. Okay. No shutdown. No clock rate on the serial interface. I think there'd be a clock rate. Maybe the other end's going to be the DCE. Okay, so configure routing on R1. Configure static routes to the network supported by D1 and a default route for everything else to point at R3. So we're going to point the default route. Okay, so let's come out of there and let's do IP route. IP route 10 to 0 0 255 255 0 0 via 10.1.13.13. So basically it's saying that anything that's destined for 10.2 anything, send it to 10.1, send it to 10.1.13.13. That's the exit interface, or the next hop. So I'm just going to double check that because I really don't want to bugger that up. If I do that wrong, that'll... Right. I'll be all sorts of troubleshooting for ages trying to fix that, right. IPv6 routes 2001 DB8 ACAD 1050 64, and that's going to go out via 2001 DB8 ACAD 10D1 D1. Right, let's just double check that because that's a long address. So 2001 DB8 ACAD 1050://64 via 10 DB8 ACAD 10D1://D1. Looks good. And then we've got a very similar thing again, except we're just going to change that to the 60 network. Okay. Then we have a quad 0 route. I think I've got it. So it's IP route, and that's via 10.1.3.3. Okay. And then the IPv6 route, and that's going to be ::/0, so the default route 2001 DB8 ACAD 10.13:3. Okay, just double check that, sanity check that. Okay, let's just close down this pop-up from Brave. Right, now from R1, ping PC2 with IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. Okay, so if all's gone well, if I go from R1, I should be able to ping PC2, which is on 10.2.60.50/24. Ping 10.2.60.50. I'm kind of half and half if this is actually even going to work. Input. Oh, of course I'm in the wrong. Well, it's not going to work. I'm in the do ping. Ha! 100%. Right, okay, right. We're cooking with gas now. So we can ping from R1, we can ping PC2 through D1 here. And what does it want me to do? To ping the IPv6 address as well. We better do that while we're at it. So let's do exit. Ping, and then let's do PB8. And then PC2's 1060::50. So ACAD 1060::50. Yes. Success rate is 80. So we lost one on the ARP there, but if I run it again, we'll get 100%. So that's we're up and operational on IPv4 and IPv6. So right, okay, so from R1 ping PC2, all pings should be successful. Success. Right, moving forward, we're on to part 3 now. Part 3, configure and verify router-based inter-VLAN routing. Okay, so first of all, we need to configure D2 to support the required VLANs. So let's head over to D2 for the first time in a while with this lovely orange colour. And let's do VLAN 75 name group 75. That's it. And we want VLAN 85. Name group 85, I'm going to guess. How imaginative. Okay. And then we're going to do VLAN 999 and name native VLAN. Exit. Okay, now we're going to assign the interfaces on D2 to VLAN 75 and 85. So let's go interface gigabit Ethernet, and we want to go 1023, and then we want to set that to be on an IP address, no, IP admission. IP admission, that's so strange. It doesn't like IP. That's so odd. Question mark. Oh, interface VLAN. Assign. Wait, assign the gigabit G10. Ah, right, okay, so I'm jumping ahead. Right, okay, so hang on. So let's go interface gigabit Ethernet G1/0/23. Not going to tell you how to do this, it's just going to assume you know now that it told you briefly back there. And it doesn't like gigabit anymore for some reason. Hang on. Let's just try it. Let's try again. Right, okay. Interface gigabit Ethernet 1/0/23. Okay. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN, and it says to VLAN 75. Okay. And then we want to do interface gigabit 24. And we want to assign that to VLAN 85. Access VLAN 85. Okay, then it says we want to create an SVI that will operate in VLAN 75, and it's kindly going to tell us how to do that. Thank you. Let's just do a shot on that. Exit. Okay, so interface VLAN 75, IP address 10.3.75.14. Oh, 10.3.75.14. And then we're doing an IPv6 address of FE80 : D2 : 1 link local, and then we want an IPv6 address of 2001 DB8 ACAD 3075 : D2 /64. Then we want a no shutdown and an exit. Okay. No shut, exit. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create an IEEE 802.1q based trunk to R3. So let's get into interface gigabit Ethernet, and we want the 1/0/11 interface. Switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk native VLAN, all the 9s, switch port trunk allowed, and we want to send over 75, 85 and 999, no shut, exit. So what we've done there is we've set up a trunk link on this gigabit 11. I'm just going to go and scan back to the diagram. So interface 11. So that's this interface coming out of D2 just here. It's quite difficult to see, but basically this interface up coming out of going up to that device. Right, okay. So line protocol change state to up. Okay. So now that we've configured that, we just need to go to R3 to configure R3 to support some Inter-VLAN routing. So let's go to R3 and let's do interface gigabit 0, 0, 1. Okay, switch port mode. Wait, I'm looking at the switch config there, right? No shutdown. Sitting on a router saying to it, switch port, exit, right. And then we want to do, now we're going to use sub interfaces, right? So interface gigabit 0/0/1.75. So sub interface, router on a stick, encapsulation .1Q 75. Okay, IP address, and then we want the 10.3.75.1. Okay, and then an IPv6 address, FE80 ::3:2 link local, and another IPv6 address of 2001 DB8 ACAD, and then we want 3075/64. Okay, and then a no shut down on there, exit, and then let's bring up the other interface. So let's go all the way back to interface gigabit 0/0/1.85. Okay, and IP address 385.1. Right, hold on. Configuring IP routing on a LAN subinterface is only allowed if that subinterface is already configured as part of a 802.10, 802.1Q or ISL VLAN. Well, it is. It is going to be that. So what, is he not going to let me, or is it just reminding me that that's going to be the case? Because we need to continue with the configuring IP routing on a LAN subinterface is only allowed if that's already configured as part of an 802.1Q or interswitch link VLAN. Well, it is going to be configured as part of that. So stop it. Right, IPv6. So the link local address is going to be 3.3, 3:3, and the full IPv6 address, the Unicast, is going to be 2001 DB8 ACAD 3.0.85:1.64. Okay, no shut, exit. Okay, then finally we need to do the subinterface for VLAN 999. Okay, and then encapsulation. Oh, that's what's happened. That I didn't run the encapsulation command on that previous subinterface. That'll be why I didn't like it. Encapsulation dot 1Q85. Maybe I should just punch those IP addresses back in. 85. Bad mask. That was fraught with errors, that configuration there. I'm glad I've gone through and punched these in again. Let's just run the link local addresses in as well. So what have we got? Link local is 33. Yeah, that's good. And 385::1 is good as well. There are no shutdown on that. Right, and then finally we need to look at interface gigabit Ethernet 0000999, and then we want an encapsulation on that .1Q 999, and then we just want a no shut. Oh, native, and then no shut, and then exit. Okay, so that's R3 configured to support Inter-VLAN routing. Now we want to configure PC3 with the address in the addressing table and further assign the default gateways of the two interfaces here. So let's just jump up to PC3 here, and it's 10.3.75.50. So PC3. Let's go and configure our change adapter settings, properties, use the following address. Okay, so PC3 should be 10.3.75.50, 24 mask, so let's just put, and the gateway of PC3. Okay, so PC3's gateway is going to be the G1023 address. Okay, and the G1023 address is VLAN 75. So it's going to be 10.3.75.1. Let's put 10.3.75.1. Okay, and then let's do the IPv6 address as well. So we use the following IPs: 2001, DB8, ACAD, and then for PC3 we're looking at 3075::50, and then 64 bits. Now the gateway is going to be the VLAN 75 address, so basically the same. But instead of 3075::50, it's 3075::1. So let's just grab that, paste that in there, and we'll just change that to ::1 like that. That should be good. Okay, nice. Right, we'll use the old terminal on this one just to mix it up a bit. So, oh, it likes it. It's joining network 2. Okay, so now it's saying that I have to configure PC4 with the IP addresses in the addressing table and further assign default gateway. So let's jump over to PC4 and let's go into the network and sharing center. Set up PC4. Right, let's just go back up to the topology table and grab, here's PC4 here. So 10.3.85.50. Okay, and it's a /24. And it'll be 10.3.85, and whatever the VLAN 85 is 85.1. Okay, and then let's do the IPv6 address. Use the following one. So I'm guessing, let's just paste, thought I might have had that on the clipboard. 2001 DB8 ACAD, and then we're looking at the IPv. So 2001 DB8 ACAD 3085::50. 3085::50. And then we want to do that, but I'm guessing it's going to be 3085::1 for the VLAN 85. Yes. So that needs to change to a 1. 3085, okay, cool, right. Back down to our, right, so where are we? Look, there it is, joining the network. So from PC3, ping PC4's IPv4 and IPv6 address. So let's just get the command prompt up. ipconfig. So we're 10.3.85.50. So let's go to PC3, ping 10.3.85. Always nervous when this happens. Come on. Alright, that's working. Indicates R3 is performing Inter-VLAN routing. Alright, and let's just ping the IPv6 address as well. Well, let's just go to PC4, get the IPv6, so it's FE80, so 3085 colon 50, 3085 colon 50, so ping 2001 DBA ACAD 3085 colon 50. Now, right, have I got that wrong? Do I need to provide the 2001 3085 colon 50? Let's just go up and double check that we have the right configuration. So we're pinging PC4 3085 colon 50. Let me just put the prefix on there. No, doesn't like it. So there's something wrong with the IPv6 configuration. There's something not right. Let's just go back to PC4 and double check this is ACAD 3085 colon 50 3085 colon 1. Let's ping the gateway and see if we can get to the router first of all. So let's try colon 1. That's not working either. So we're fine on IPv4 addressing, but we're struggling on. So 3085 colon 50 isn't working, but it's working on IPv6. So that's something on R3. Right. So sub interface. So let's just go back in and just see if we can get this sub interface to work. So it's the no more history. Okay, so wait, let's just go back, see if we can get this fixed. So implement Inter-VLAN routing D2 D3, right. So it's interface gigabit 001.85. Okay. Encapsulation .1Q 85. And then we had it's even up here, look, 10.3.85.1, which is working. That's working fine. It's the IPv6 config that's not working. 2001 ACAD 3085 colon 1. See, I've set it up there. (2001) DBA ACAD 3085 colon 1 is definitely running on that router. So let's go back to PC4. 2001 DBA ACAD 3085 colon 50. Ping 2001 DB8 ACAD 3085 colon 1 3085 colon is not pinging. So this can't even ping its own gateway, which is indicative of some problem with the configuration. Let's have a look in here and see what we've got. Because working on IPv4, 2001 DBA ACAD 3085 colon 50 2001 DBA ACAD 3085 colon 1, and that's the right setting. 2001 ACAD 2001 DB8 ACAD 3085 colon 50, and that's 2001 DB8 ACAD 3085 colon 1. And that should be pinging 2001 DB8 ACAD 3085 colon 1 should be replying. Okay, so there's definitely something wrong on R3, because it says that it's on 2001 DB8 ACAD 3085 colon 1 on VLAN 85 is there. Okay, let's go to PC3 and see if that one's working. So PC3 should be able to ping 3075 colon 1, and PC3 can't ping either. It doesn't look like, but it looks like IPv. What about this? Configure R3 to support IPv6 unicast routing. What if it was just that? Okay. And then if we were to just do, funny if it was just this one command, IPv6 unicast routing. Right. Now, will these pings work? Because that would indicate that, ha! It's working now. Brilliant. Okay, just one command out, and that's so 3085 colon 1 is the other interface, and can we get all the way to 3085 colon 50? Yes, we can. Brilliant. Okay, so just had to bring up unicast routing. Knew there was something silly there. Right. Now, configure the interface with the addresses specified in the addressing table. So static routing on R3 to enable end-to-end reachability. Okay, so let's do interface serial 0/1/1. Okay, IP address, and we want 10.1.3. IPv6 address, FE80, and then we're looking at colon 3:1 link local, and then IPv6 address DB8 ACAD, and then we want 10.13:3/64. Okay, and a no shutty on that. Exit, and then let's just do an IP route of the quad 0 nature to 10.1.3.1, and then an IPv6 default route :/0 to 2001 DB8 ACAD 10.13 :1. Oh, helps if you put root, doesn't it? Okay, so on PC3, issue a ping to PC2, and this should be successful. This indicates that the routing solution is working in both directions. So from PC3, we're going to ping PC2, and if it works, then we're getting right through through the WAN link to the other side. So let's go and find PC2's IP address. We'll do IPv4 first. So ping 10.2.60.50. I almost can't bear to look. Ha! It lives. Excellent. Right, so that shows we're getting from PC3 right up through the network, up from this side of the network here, up over that WAN link and back down into PC2. Good. So that means that we've done this properly. We've set this up in the way that we want it to be set up. So the next thing we want to do, okay, so from PC3, configure that. On R3, configure a static default route that points through. Issue, this indicates the routing solution is working in both directions. Fantastic, right, so we've got the routing running through. So now, let's examine the CAM and Cisco Express forwarding details. So this is the real, this is kind of the bit that we've been wanting to go to. This was the bit that the chapter was about in the CCNP book. So let's go to R1 and let's just clear off this screen and let's do the magical bit, show IP Cisco Express forwarding, and it'll not work. No, it will. Alright, okay. So this is the compiled Cisco Express forwarding table. So this tells the device what to do with a frame or packet based on the destination address. So it says here, right, that this table gives the device a quick answer and keeps the CPU from being directly involved. For example, packets going to 10.2.0.0 are quick resolved to 10.1.13.13. So let's have a look at that. 10.2.0.0, right? Next hop out there, gigabit interface. So now let's have a look at the show adjacency. Now, interestingly, we've got some drop, we've got some receive, we've got some attached. So these attached ones are the actual configured network addresses, and these are the forwarding addresses. Okay, and interestingly, we've got this kind of default gateway here configured with that quad 0 route there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is show adjacency. So show adjacency, and we can see the neighbours of each interface. Okay, so for example, we have this and we have this. Now, expand this command to get some more information. So we can do show adjacency, and let's have a look. There's all sorts of stuff in there. There's all sorts. There's literally lots of stuff. Let's do show adjacency detail, okay? Detail. Right. So, you'll see that the router has pre-compiled the layer 2 headers and other details to allow it to package information quickly. So, what's actually happened, we've got layer 2 byte offset, link layer, connection ID, encap length 14, link layer type IP, protocol interface, show adjacency detail. Allows it to package the information across onto the network. IPv6 serial, encap length 4. It's fantastic. So what this is showing is that we've got this Cisco Express forwarding fast sending on the network. Okay, as it says up here, basically, show adjacency detail is showing us that we have so these layer 2 destination addresses that are set up allows the router to package the information quickly without sending it up to the CPU. Okay, and And this is it. This is Cisco Express forwarding. And it says here, the little last bit, okay, that it says, so, alright, okay, that's just a little bit to help you with. To find out how the router is configured, look at the interfaces and how many interfaces it has. There's no way to tell. This is just in case you've got a different model of router, like if you were using the 1900 or something, which ones to use instead. But just look in here. So show adjacency detail. I wonder if there's any other. Show CEF. Show CEF features. Show CEF. Forwarding information base entries. That sounds quite good. Let's have a look in there. Forwarding information base. 19 allocated IPv4 entries. 13. Okay. What about the table? Show CEF table. Let's have a look at this. Is there some format modifiers on that perhaps? Show CDF. Show CEF table detail. Oh, look at that. Getting all sorts of information there. So I wonder, so we've seen the forwarding information base, we've seen the CEF table. Let's show CEF and see what else we've got in here. What about show CEF line card? Let's have a look at that. Show CEF line card summary. Nah, table. Let's have a look at the table. Nothing in there. Let's have a look at show CEF features. I was thinking there wouldn't be anything there because we're using the show CEF features global punt features SPD. Show CEF accounting. Let's have a look at that one. Show CEF accounting. Here we go. Wow, okay. Show adjacency detail. So, on Gigabit Ethernet 001, we have an address 10.1.13.13. Right. The encapsulation length is 14. The layer 2 destination byte offset and the link type after encap is IP ARP. So I think what that's telling us is that it's got the packet already built. Let's just check what the lab exactly says. You'll see the router has pre-compiled the layer 2 header details and other details to allow it to package the information correctly. So the router has set these up. It's got these built into the Cisco Express forwarding. Fantastic. Brilliant. I didn't think all that would work, by the way. So that's really good. Just having a look at serial point-to-points as well. We'll scroll down and have a look at these serial links too. Serial point-to-point, point-to-point. And the thing that's really good about the CEF, that's fantastic about the CEF, is it stops the information having to go up to the CPU. So we can forward this. Now, I had a look in the line card configuration there, and I know it's not. I know we're not using the line cards for this. Maybe we should have a wee look. See what other options there were. So there's CEF information related. Classify packets, events, features. Show CEF events. We'll have a look at that. Show CEF events. There's all sorts in here. Brilliant. Forwarding information base, IPv4. Host mode transaction triggered. And I mean, another good thing about this CEF as well is that we didn't have to configure it. We didn't have to set it up. It just worked with the VLANs. You know, the layer 2 information. It just worked, which is fantastic as well. Right. Okay. So that's been a little run through of the first lab 1 of the CCNP, and that is configuring or implementing Inter-VLAN routing on the network, and that's set up. You saw I got it working. There was a couple of heart and mouth moments with the pings not working because I didn't enable IPv6 Unicast routing. Just one more proof of concept before we end. So I should be able to ping from PC1 to PC4. So PC1 is 10.2.50.50. PC4 is 10.3.85.50. So let's go to PC1 and let's do it from PowerShell. Ping 10.3.85.50. Almost can't look. Yes, it's working. So that's pinging from PC1 over the WAN link to PC4. And that shows the proof of concept that we've got this lab working here. Hang on, I'll move myself back down to the corner so we can see it. Okay, so Cisco Express forwarding demonstrated, PC1 working, R1 working, R3 working, D1 working. Let's have a look at the status. Everything's powered on, everything's up and running. Let's have a look at the content. There's a little bit of an error message it gives you here about when configuring IP addresses on PCs, configure the address on the Ethernet bridge interface, not on the Ethernet interface. Oh! I'm going to be in big trouble. I'm going to go actually back to these PCs then and turn off, put them back onto DHCP before I break anything. I'm guessing Cisco Express. I'm guessing that NetLab's got a way of fixing that, but I'll make sure that I go and turn those back. Okay, well, if that was helpful for you, good luck with your labs or whatever. That's it.